Welcome to Campbell's Coins. I am very excited about this video that I'm about to bring you today. It is a topic that I'm extremely passionate about. Recently I got into a debate with a friend on Instagram about silver and gold. His argument was gold is better than silver, and mine was obviously the opposite. After we chatted for a bit, I realized that he and I were really discussing two different things. He was talking about the premium silver, and I was just talking about silver in general. My argument was more specific to silver in general as an investment, its uses, and I'm gonna go over my 3 reasons for why I feel silver is better than gold. So grab a drink, buckle in, and
hold on to your butts,
because we have a lot to get through coming up. Since birth, we are unknowingly conditioned to believe gold is better than silver. In the Olympics, first place is gold, second place is silver. Movies highlight gold as a treasure and something to be desired. There are a lot of gold nomenclatures such as good as gold, heart of gold, worth its weight in gold, golden rule, gold is money, everything else is credit. Lots of positive sayings when it comes to gold. With silver, there aren't as many positive nomenclatures. In fact, there are more negative ones. Born with a silver spoon in your mouth, silver-tongued. One positive one I found is every cloud has a silver lining. Clearly, there has been some conditioning throughout humanity's history. But some people realize silver's worth going all the way back to ancient Greece and ancient Egypt. This is where silver was the first metal used as a measure of currency. The silver standard, as it was called, was established to determine the exchange rate of a currency to a fixed amount of silver. The silver standard continued in the Roman Empire, China, India, Britain, and of course, the United States. At the founding of the United States, our country's founding fathers established our monetary system in a bimetallic standard, gold and silver. It was predominantly silver because silver was a much more abundant metal found in the United States, and our founding fathers wanted and viewed silver to be the money of the people. This all ended in 1873 with the crime of 1873, when silver was demonetized in the US in favor of the gold standard. This resulted in a huge shortage of the money supply, which led to foreclosures of thousands of farms and a 7-year economic depression. I will go over this topic much more in depth in a future video, but for now, let's just move on. This led to the free silver movement of the 1890s. Did you know that the book Wizard of Oz is commentary on this free silver movement? Dorothy's slippers were originally silver, not ruby. The silver slippers represented this free silver movement in the 1890s. The yellow brick road represented the gold standard. The Cowardly Lion represented William Jennings Bryan, a presidential candidate who ran on the platform of the free silver movement. The slippers in the Wizard of Oz movie were changed from silver to ruby colored to show off the new technology of the day, Technicolor. But what if we treated and viewed silver like we treat and view gold today? Gold is more rare, silver is more abundant. Pricing of these metals has reflected this statement for thousands of years. But what if I were to tell you silver has always been better than gold, and this statement is more true today than ever before? Currently, silver is near its all-time low, about 65% from its all-time high. Gold is currently 25% from its all-time high. I heard someone make the argument that silver is a terrible investment because its price is lower than its 1980 and 2011 highs. It's lower than its all-time high with a lot of room to grow. Sounds like an investment to me. That same individual said if you bought in 2011 at the height of silver pricing, your investment would be dramatically less today. And because of that, it is not a good investment. Well, if you bought silver in 2003 and sold it in 2011, it would have been a good investment. And using his same logic, one could say buying a house is a bad investment. If you bought a house in 2007 at the height of the housing market, you were pretty in 2011. Investments go up and down over the years. Taking a snapshot of a period of time or cherry-picking facts to prove your argument is simply asinine. So now that we are suspending our thoughts on gold and applying those same thoughts to silver, let's go over silver's uses and compare them to gold's uses. Silver is the second most versatile commodity in the world next to oil. It is vastly undervalued compared to gold and other commodities. Part of the reason why is because silver is used in a variety of products, and the companies producing these products would like to receive silver for as cheap as possible. Silver has been driven to an industrial metal instead of being treasured as a precious metal since the crime of 1873. It is a little harder than gold, and is very ductile and malleable. Pure silver has the highest electrical and thermal conductivity of all metals and possesses the lowest contact resistance. It is also the most reflective metal. But with all these uses comes high demand, and it is being used to the point of extinction. It is vital to our way of life. Silver is used in personal deodorants. Throughout history, silver was used to help milk from spoiling. Companies are using silver nanoparticles to purify waters in an effort to replace chlorine, which is used in pools. NASA astronauts drink water purified from silver instead of using chlorine. Due to its antimicrobial properties, silver is being woven into lab coats to prevent cross-infection between doctors, staff, and patients. For the same reason, silver is also used in yoga pants, workout shorts, pants, and shirts. Silver nanoparticles are used in washing machines and detergent because silver ion kills the bacteria that forms on clothes. Silver is used as a sanitizer. Silver nanoparticles used in refrigerators, air conditioners, vacuum cleaners, filters, sterilize up to 650 different types of bacteria. Silver-wrapped bandages help slow bacterial growth and promote healing for burns and wound victims. It can prevent disease from bacterial buildup in pipes, connections, and water tanks. Silver is embedded into glove fingertips to be used on touchscreens. Touchscreens require bioelectrical energy to move the screens around, and when gloves are worn, they block the current. Silver is woven into the fabric to conduct that current through the gloves. Silver acetate has been used to help people quit smoking. It is used as a biocide in wood preservation. Historically, silver was used mostly in photography because of its light sensitivity for photographs. This hasn't diminished as silver is used in our phones. Silver-coated quartz tiles protect NASA satellites and stations from solar radiation. Silver is used on membranes for light switches, televisions, telephones, microwaves, computer keyboards, children's toys, and many more. Layers of silver on metallic parts reduce friction and improve performance. Ball bearings used in fighter jet engines are electroplated with silver because silver reduces friction and its melting point is 961 degrees Celsius, meaning it easily withstands high temperatures. Silver is used to make stainless glass with clay, gum, and turpentine. Do you do any type of 3D printing? Silver nanoparticles are used in all 3D printing ink. Silver is used in TV screens. 150 million ounces of silver are used every year by the petrochemical industry to produce ethyl oxide and formaldehyde, which are key ingredients for making plastics, including polyester fibers for clothing, handles for cookware, and computer components. Silver surrounds clean energy. We all know that we're headed towards a post-petroleum age, and silver is used heavily to preserve and improve battery life. More and more electric cars are being made, increasing the demand for batteries, which is an increase of silver. Silver is used in every vehicle produced today, and the amount of silver used in each car grows every year as we move towards electric cars. Batteries manufactured with silver alloys are 35% better than lithium. All circuit boards are printed with silver-based ink. Silver-jacketed oxide wires can carry 140 times of the electrical load than copper wires can, with less than 1% the weight. 100 million ounces of silver are used every year in the solar panel industry. Typical 3x5 solar panels contain 20 grams of silver for their electrical conductivity. These are 2015 figures, and I guarantee you that number has gone way up, especially since California recently passed the law that any new building made in California under 3 stories has to have solar panels. Thermal windows used in high-rises contain silver to reduce sunlight and heat. Every time you look in the mirror, you are looking at silver. Its reflectivity improves function. Silver is used in media storage to prolong the life of CDs and DVDs by resisting pitting and rust. Its reflectivity improves function, and it's better than aluminum as silver doesn't react with colored dyes. It is one of the most commonly used forms of jewelry. There are literally thousands of uses for silver, and yet, within the Earth's crust, there is only 1 gram of silver for every 12.5 tons of Earth. With all of these uses and its rarity, silver sits at the bottom of the market. Mexico is the world's largest producer of silver with 190 million ounces every year, but a 2018 U.S. Geological Survey estimates Mexico only has 5 years left. At the time of filming this video, February 8th, 2020, that would mean Mexico has 3 years of silver left. So what about gold? It's indestructible, it doesn't tarnish, high electrical conductivity, and used in electronics and computers, but not as much as gold. It is one of the best stores of value. It's used in dentistry because of its malleability and has some other medical uses. But what is its biggest use? Gold's biggest use is making jewelry. That's right. Its biggest use is to make stuff look pretty. Silver is trashed. Gold is treasured. Over half of all the silver mined throughout history has been trashed and currently sits in landfills. Amounts too small to scrap. This has mainly been done because silver is more abundant than gold. But silver is becoming tougher to find. Most of the silver mined today is a byproduct of mining other minerals like copper and zinc. The huge silver deposits are disappearing. In the 1950s, there was an estimated 2 billion ounces of above-ground gold and 10 billion ounces of above-ground silver. Today, with industrialization, those numbers have flipped. There is now an estimated 10 billion ounces of above-ground gold and just 2 billion ounces of above-ground silver. But compared to gold, silver is still insanely cheap. An argument people often make in favor of gold is gold's huge potential as an investment, and they are not wrong. A lot of big financial names out there think gold will hit $10,000 an ounce. Maybe even more. 20,000 has been talked about, 50,000, in the not too distant near future. And a lot of good cases have been made to back up these claims. Do they think silver will languish at $17.80 an ounce? I think a lot of people do. I don't think that they realize that during every market recession, depression, or political issue, silver follows gold. If gold goes down, silver goes down. If gold goes up, silver goes up. Let's look at the gold to silver ratio. I've made a video that completely covers the gold to silver ratio, and it can be found here, and I highly recommend you check that out after this one. I bring up the gold to silver ratio a lot because it is very important when looking at the future price of silver. The gold to silver ratio is essentially the relative abundance of gold to silver in nature. Our nation set this ratio at 15 to 1 in 1792. and many nations throughout history have had similar ratios. Later, in 1834, our nation reset this ratio to 16 to 1 to avoid the loss of hoarding one metal over another. Currently, the gold to silver ratio in nature is 8 to 1. However, from a price perspective, the gold to silver ratio is 87 to 1. That's right, the gold to silver ratio is 10 times over its occurrence in nature. If you are one of those who think gold will hit $10,000 an ounce, what do you think silver will be? If we take today's gold to silver ratio at that price, we will have a silver price of $115 an ounce. If we take today's gold to silver ratio, 87 to 1, at that $10,000 price level, we would have $115 an ounce silver. If we have a lower ratio, as it would be in any economic recession depression, our silver price gets much higher. Let's say we use the gold to silver ratio of 38 to 1. This is the ratio that we saw just 9 years ago in 2011. That would leave $263 per ounce silver price. If the ratio drops below that 38 to 1 ratio, which it did in the 1980s, obviously that would mean higher silver price. Let's tease this out and say that the gold to silver ratio drops down to its natural occurrence 8 to 1. With $10,000 gold, we would see $1,250 per ounce silver. You can of course play this game with different gold prices and different ratios, but to get to my point, if gold hits $10,000 an ounce, that's only 6.5 times above its current high. If silver hits $263 an ounce, using the 38 to 1 ratio with $10,000 gold, that's 14 times above its current high. I know I'm playing the what if game here. And if you don't think these numbers are possible for gold and silver, you aren't really paying attention to the economic problems that exist in the US and globally. The derivatives of the world's 9 largest banks equals $230 trillion. 3 times the global economy. No government in the world has that kind of cash for a bailout. The global debt is $253 trillion. 322% of the global GDP. Our nation alone sits around 23 trillion. US corporate debt equals 10 trillion. And get this, that is up 50% in just the last 10 years. Private debt is $1.2 trillion. 50% of that is collateralized loan obligations. And our government has been printing money like it's going out of style since the 1980s. In every economic downturn, speaking in terms of percentages, silver outperforms gold every time. Please don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing gold in any way. I think gold is an excellent store of wealth, preserver of wealth, and I think that every stacker should have some gold in their stack. I'm just giving my reasons why I feel silver is better than gold. My friend's argument was that it is tough to sell premium silver over gold. And, after we got to that point in the argument, I realized what we were actually talking about, and he's 100% correct. Although that's not my point of what I was arguing. But there is a lot of premium silver out there that is 150 to 270% over spot price, and I'm sure there's higher pieces out there too. And one almost never sees new production gold coins or bars with that kind of a premium. I mean, at most you may see it 6 to 10% above spot price for gold. But given the examples that I'd given, its uses, it's being used up more while its production plummets, and its economic potential, I think silver is a better investment over gold and offers more uses over gold. I stack both, and I think that you should too. If you're worried about silver premiums, don't buy premium silver, buy generic silver. You can get that for spot price up to 50 cents over spot. If you are paying more than 50 cents over spot for generic silver, you're paying too much. You should shop around. There are a lot of deals to be had out there, but just my little tidbit of advice. Now, you won't get a return on generic silver unless the price of silver rises, but your risk will be very low. What do you think of my 3 reasons? Which type of metals do you prefer? Let me know in the comments below. I really want to hear what you have to say. Like I've mentioned many times, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. Gold and silver are both excellent metals to stack. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Campbell's Coins, and that's my 2 cents.